Welcome to Empowered by AI, the podcast for women entrepreneurs ready to harness AI to take their businesses to the next level. I'm your host, Michelle Muncy-Silva, founder of Innovative AI Studios. You may have left corporate life to start this entrepreneurial journey, but you don't have to go it alone. Here, you'll find a supportive community of like-minded women and an invaluable thought partner each week, as my guests and I share actionable insights you can use right away. So let's dive in together.
It's interesting. I was having a conversation with the dean of the School of Economics. They've launched a graduate level AI program, or is it a certification program? It might be a certification program, but we were talking about he actually is having his professors over the summer. They have to retool their courses to include AI and help. So that conversation we had the other day about AI in education all the way from K through graduate school and beyond is a thing. And he's saying that he's given them the mandate that they have to, by the end of the summer, have all of that redone.
Interesting. I am super looking forward to having this conversation with you. Are you okay if we officially dive in?
Sure. I was looking at your questions and like, okay, can I answer these questions?
Hey, we're going to go where the conversation leads. Trudy-Ann Armand, you are in a safe space.
Good. I like safe spaces. So we say that it's a brave space, right? A brave space.
There you go. You are in a brave space. So let's introduce you to friends. Let's introduce you. So Trudy-Ann Armand, you are coming to us for the very first time on the podcast, but not the first time as a speaker. We first saw you speak at AI Renaissance, and that was a fascinating conversation. Your career spans healthcare, aviation, enterprise learning systems. You've done a lot. And you have not only done all of that, but you've emerged as this just powerhouse of a voice in AI. So can you enlighten us? What was that moment as you were going through these experiences where you realized that AI was going to play a role in your world?
So I think I did it a little bit backwards. I initially got into or started having interest in AI for personal, selfish reasons. I was overwhelmed and I needed help. And my very first thing, this was in our business, was around helping me with content and creating copy and things like that. And then I started realizing, so in addition to that, I can strategize, I can brainstorm, I can create frameworks for things, I can bounce ideas off. So it started to grow exponentially. And then I said, okay, that was me playing in ChatGPT. Then I started playing in Perplexity and Claude and Gemini and Manus and
Is it snowballing?
It's like snowballing. So it was like, I keep going back and editing, looking at my tech stack. Okay, do I really need all 5 of these things? Do I know I have Midjourney? And so I'm like, okay, do I pull back on some of this? I have Sonos with the music. And so it's really, I feel like my brain has stretched and grown over the time that I've been playing with AI.
Has it helped you? Because in the fact that I know you have these roles in a day job, but I know you're also doing your own personal business. So, because you have more hours in the day than the average person. I know you do, because you're getting stuff done. Has AI impacted your ability to scale, your ability to innovate? How's that helping you? Or is it maybe overwhelming?
It's definitely helping, right? Because a lot of what I have all these sticky notes in my brain, right? There's, okay, I'm going to do this or do that. But when I engage with AI, I'm able to start putting some structure to things and then making it so that I can then, if it's something that I can automate, I will automate it. But I have all this additional structure and not just the framework, but the build, because I'm using it to build out or build on these ideas that I have. So that's really for sure. I would not be able to do what I'm doing. And I've added, I thought I was busy before, but now I've added on all these additional things. So I need to make sure that I keep pace with that.
That's the sticky wicket because AI frees up so much time. So I guess technically, if I would stop, it would.
Yes, I've been up to I was up to 1 in the morning. The other was 3 a.m. So yeah, I think I need to. Yeah, like you said, I have more hours in the day, but now I'm bleeding into the morning.
It's okay to talk about addiction. It's all right. It's
Yes.
all right. You're in a safe space. See, we're back to the safe space now.
Back in safe space. Yeah.
Now, you've also led digital learning for complex industries. So I'm wondering what opportunities for AI over there. How is that unlocking learning and opportunities that might not have been possible even just a few years ago?
So I think one of the key things that I'm seeing is a lot of adaptive learning, right? Really being responsive to the learner and meeting them where they are based on the interaction that with the learner themselves. Another area is going to be around scenarios, right? And being able to play out some of the things. And depending on your industry, could be something that is risky if you were to do it in the real world. But there you can run through that and have a very responsive interaction with AI to see where are the gaps and how do we not upskill, but how do we potentially remediate you based on the outcome of that exchange. So those are some of the things top of mind that come out of what's coming out of AI now.
And if you all are not following Trudy yet on LinkedIn, I would encourage you to do so because you just posted a really interesting piece on the politeness paradox. And I wanted to talk to you about that because I really thought that was fascinating. Can you talk a little bit about what you uncovered in
Sure.
that post?
Sure. It was interesting because I'm doing a certification at Harvard Business School right now. And it came up in passing, right? It wasn't even something that was really part of that particular lesson. And I'm like, wait, what? If you're nice to it, it'll give you better answers. That's cool. I was taught to be very polite, please, and thank you and all of that. So I'm like, I can do that. And I do it sometimes anyway. And so I said, that's really neat. But then a good friend of mine saw my post and said, did you see the Sam Altman interview where he's talking about the cost of you being polite? I'm like, wait, what now? So I had to go back and have my own counterpoint to my own posts and said, okay, I'm like, okay, I can see that. So the idea that every token, everything you ask has a value of a cost, right? And so the more you ask, the more it technically costs. And so the fact that you add please and thank you and all those things to it is increasing that cost. And what I mean by cost is around the environmental impact, for example, right? If you look at the entire continuum of what happens when you use AI and something, okay, do I want to have more energy, more water usage, more all of these things just so I can say please and thank you? And so I had to kind of rethink that and like, okay, I was getting good results before adding in the please and thank you. So I think for me, the idea that if I had to choose one or the other, especially because my 14-year-old daughter refuses to use AI because she says it's doing terrible things to the environment. And so I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to go please and thank you. My daughter doesn't want to use AI because it's hurting the environment. And so I have this conflict going on here. And long story short, I think for me, in that interest of that, I think I'm going to scale back a little bit on my please and thank yous because, as I said, I was getting the results I needed. So I think that's going to be my approach. How about you? What did you?
I had not. That's why I thought your article was so fascinating. Is I've heard the environmental conversation, completely engaged with that. I had never thought of those words as contributing to a worse situation. But when you break it down mathematically, that makes sense, right? Because you're increasing the number of characters.
Right.
So I'm wondering if there's some trade-off that could be made because the running theory is that it's going to give you better output. Okay. I think women might be more likely to say the please and the thank yous. It's just a little bit maybe more ingrained if
Yeah.
I was to have a theory or a hypothesis. So I'm wondering, is that unique to a specific population that's working with AI?
And it very well might be. It might be. And I think what would be interesting for our own personal experience with AI is test it out. I did it. I tested it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try a prompt with please and one without please. I got relatively close responses. The one without the please actually gave me more information than the one, it was more succinct, the when I said please. And I think it would be an interesting experiment for ourselves to which responses work better for us if it matters to, it's an individual decision as to whether or not to exclude or include it based on the potential impact to the environment. So it's really no judgment on my part, just yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't feel the argument was anything more than a wow. Let's put these two perspectives in front of people for sure.
Yeah.
And I know you've made the point before that a lot of AI tools are free, they're available now, and we need to get into this experimentation. So, a conversation like this, I think, is just an invitation to try things out, to see what happens. How do you think we can best help more women move into the space? Maybe if they're feeling anti AI or intimidated by what can seem as a very overwhelming thing, how do we move them more into experimentation, do you think?
Exposure is the first thing, right? I think as we talk about what's possible, and even I think if there isn't necessarily, if someone doesn't see a need for it, maybe in their work world or their business or so on, perhaps start playing with it in your personal life. The other day, I decided that I wanted to make jerk chicken arroz con pollo. I don't know if that, I could think it so would be Russell, but anyway, I wanted to have a Jamaican version of arroz con pollo. So I told Chat GPT that, and out came a recipe that was absolutely delicious. And so for someone who may want to just dip their toe in and see there that option, there is helping with a to-do list for the day, simple things. And I think from my experience working with women, talking to it seems to be a lot less intimidating than thinking about, especially with the conversations around prompt engineering. It sounds like this very complicated thing to do, right? But talking to ChatGPT, for example, and just saying what it is you're hoping to accomplish seems to be a lot easier to just try that and getting an output. And then, okay, so now you can also type this and think about it this way. What's the role that you want it to play? What's the task you want it to do, and so on. So I think that would be the first thing, is that introduction. And then sharing for us as a community, sharing and having other women see us and how we're using it and where we're going with it. And the fact that there's so many different avenues to go down with AI, right? So there's the ethics, there's the education, there's in business, there's so many different avenues to go down. And I think as we, as folks in the space, start showing up and showing what we're doing and what our output and our outcomes are, I think that'll also help encourage other women to get involved.
And I'm wondering how you see it transforming like workforce development, because I've been reading a lot of articles that it's not necessarily the entry level force that might be as impacted as it is going to be the leadership group. And so I'm
Yep.
just wondering how you see AI transforming that workforce development in
That
various sectors.
that's an interesting thing. I actually have an enhanced perspective based on a session I attended yesterday with some HR professionals. And there was talk about the fact that middle management is at risk, right? Because, and there was an article recently about the compressing of that layer in organizations. Some companies are actually mandating that leaders have more direct reports so that they can flatten that organization and remove some of the what they consider fat from that layer. But the need for leaders to, and by the way, let me go back a sec. So when we talk about some of the jobs that are at risk, and these are positions that traditionally you think, okay, I went to school for this. I have this job that, this is, I'm pretty set for life. Accountants, attorneys, So it's not just middle management. There are professions that are being severely impacted by the fact that data, which is what the LLMs, large language models, are built on, are fundamental to these other jobs, right? And that's, to me, that blows my mind, right? Those are positions you thought were safe. And so as far as how we think about what we do going forward, we have to be really agile in continuing to learn. Like you said, that AI literacy is going to be key from the top down. So we need to make sure the top leaders are AI literate, that they understand what it can do, what the risks are, and then looking at the tasks that people are doing and which ones can be done by AI. But then what are the tasks that need or would benefit from having a human involved in it, as human in the loop conversation. And even yesterday, someone was disputing that whole human in the loop, that very soon there won't need to be a human in the loop. And actually, a human in the loop can cause additional errors. And they were talking about healthcare, for example, that there's some risks around a human being in the loop versus just reviewing the output of the AI at the end. So the entire way we look at work is going to change. And I think looking at how we prepare ourselves for that is going to be really key. Even having a career path is going to be completely different, I think, than what it is today.
And you've balanced that corporate career with advocacy work, we brought up your own business and community leadership. What helps keep you curious and avoid burnout? Or am I wrong? Are we not avoiding?
Yeah. So that's my little secret, right? It's a running joke that one of my businesses, Her-Mine, which is a gift box company for women filled with products from women-owned businesses, that I market self-care, right? That's the whole premise of the box. But I don't practice self-care. And one of my friends, I'm going to out you that you're not practicing self-care, which is what you're selling to others. So yes, I do suffer from burnout, honestly. But what keeps me going, what keeps me curious is especially in the AI space, it's around learning. I am invigorated by the continuous learning, that every day I'm learning something new. Every single day, it's something that I can use to expand my understanding. And also the people that I'm meeting you, meeting Anne, meeting all these wonderful women who are doing amazing things in the space. I'll get up just for that alone. Yeah. I'm really enjoying this. And the flexibility and how I can adapt and integrate AI into all of the different pieces and things that I'm doing.
And what would you say to a woman? Because I know we have the joy of being in a community together. She leads AI. And it is so energizing to be with women who are also curious, who are also willing to dive in and learn. As you said, what would you say to a woman listening right now who thinks, yeah, no, it's too late. My ship has sailed. I have picked the career. I'm stuck in it. What would you say to someone who feels like it's just too late to start?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's funny, just this past weekend, I was talking with an author, have an invitation to be in an anthology, and it's for women 50 and over. And during the conversation, we're talking through potential topics and things. And I was talking to them about AI because they didn't know me for the AI part of it. There was another way I was introduced to them. And these are women over 50, some well over 50. And all of a sudden, the conversation lit up around AI and invitations to come and talk to different people and do different things for this group because they are AI curious as well. So to say that at any age we are feeling that, or any woman who feels like it's too late, it's not too late. This may be the opportunity to realize some dream you had way back when that you put aside because you didn't necessarily have all of the pieces in order to do it. In our group, we see people who are doing amazing things with art, with video creation, all kinds of things, and they weren't necessarily traditionally thought to be artists. They might have let go of that dream because they focused on maybe something more traditional. And so, absolutely not. This is the time to look at this as a tool for reinvention or to realize some dream that you had let go dormant. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And I've talked to just a brief little blurb about your LinkedIn, where can people follow your work, join conversations with you on LinkedIn and beyond? Where do you want them to see you?
LinkedIn is a great place for that. I post things that I find fascinating and to also engage in conversation. Or my website is another. So it's her-mine.ai. So it's her-mine.ai. So that's another place to connect with me. Folks can always schedule time with me if they want to talk one-on-one. So happy to chat. Again, this is an exciting time and lots to learn. And I love sharing what I'm finding out and how I can help women. I'm a mentor as well through a Goldman Sachs program. And I'm always excited when I get a chance to mentor and talk about how are you using AI in your business and so on. Always happy to chat about AI.
I love that. That's so generous of you. Appreciate you. And what is next for you? What do you have on your agenda? Because I'm betting you it's full.
It is. So my next thing is I'm getting ready to launch a YouTube channel, which I have the pleasure of working with my older daughter, who she's really good at video production for YouTube and so on. So she just last night, she built my banner for the YouTube channel. So more to come on that, but that's next.
I'm excited. I'm subscribing. I'm subscribing. I can guarantee you I'm going to be there. All right. When you get that address, you let me know. We're going to throw that in the show notes.
Okay,
So
we'll
we can
do.
jump on.
We'll do.
Trudy-Ann, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure. I love talking to you.
Oh, and I love talking to you and listening to all the amazing people that you're interviewing. I just love it. It's such an enlightening, empowering community. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're willing to be a part of it. So thanks for joining us.
Words.
Thank you for tuning in to Empowered by AI. If today's episode sparked ideas, don't wait. Follow the link in the show notes to visit innovativeaistudio.com and download your free resource, created to help you put today's insights into practice. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes packed with more tips, tools, and inspiring stories. Until next time, stay empowered and keep innovating.